Hey all, Tony Bing here, hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today we will be covering our final Guardians of the Galaxy character and we'll have a in-depth review for Groot. Now in the video we start off with a general overview which includes how you farm him and also his tags. We'll then have a look at his stats. Next up it's the abilities. We then have the synergies, and finishing up the part of the video everyone looks forward to, we'll see where he places in the tier list. So let's start off anyway with the general overview. Groot then is a support class with a hint of protector thrown in as well when you do pair him up with Rocket, and that is an interesting combination they've done there. Now when we look at his tags, it's Hero, Cosmic, Bio, Support and Guardians of the Galaxy, so some nice synergies with Guardians of the Galaxy. The Cosmic tag can be good for that campaign as well. When we look at how you actually farm him, so far he's only been available via Blitz and also the Gentle Giant Orbs. In time, like all characters, I imagine he will move to other modes such as Story and so on as well. Now with that general overview covered, what we'll do is we'll have a look at his stats. We start off here with the offensive stats then. Now when we look at his damage, it's actually pretty good. It is way up at B, so he can hit pretty hard. Now that is massively offset along with the rest of his kit by his speed. It's way down at F. He's only got 70 speed, so he's the 4th slowest hero in the game, and if we think of the likes of Hulk and Ronan, speed is key in this game, and low speed just completely kills a character. I won't say any more than that so I don't really spoil the tier list for the end, but this is not good. It doesn't help his kit being this slow. Now finally, offensive stat wise, we have Focus, which is down at D, but this is irrelevant because he's not applying any kind of debuffs, so this really doesn't matter there. Now what we'll do anyway is we'll now have a look at his defensive stats. Defense wise he does pretty well here, but you would imagine that for Groot, and also the fact you've got the almost hybrid protector support class role that he does play, so health and armour are both up at A. He's actually tied with Iron Man for one of the highest armour ratings in the game. His resistance is D, meaning he is susceptible to debuffs, and if he gets slowed and he doesn't have the taunt on him that he can place when teamed up with Rocket, then he's useless and he can be in a whole lot of trouble, so you really need to watch out for this. Now also from a defensive point of view, in his kit he has Death Proof and Revive, and that can be really helpful, and that is something we'll look at in a lot more detail in the next section, which will be the abilities. For the abilities, we have 4 in total to look at here. It's the basic, special, ultimate and also the passive. Now I'll show off the tooltip for the abilities maxed out, so that's level 7 for active abilities and level 5 for the passive, and then what I'll do when I'm talking about each of them, I'll let you know at what level you want to upgrade them to. Now the first one we look at for Groot is I Am Groot, which is his passive, and this is massively underwhelming here with a huge dose of RNG thrown into it as well. So on death, 20% chance to revive with 10% of this character's max health, and apply defense up on all allies, and also with this you get a nice Raccoon synergy, but that's the only thing about it that really is nice. It's on death, Death Proof Rocket Raccoon if he is an ally. Now as we know, if you're playing against the enemy AI, then the revive seems to happen all the time. If you have a character in your team with revive, it just seems to proc once every blue moon. So for this reason I would actually say only take this one up to level 2. It means the chance to revive is lower, but it's so low in the first instance that you very seldom see it happening, and I would say save your tier 3 materials for other abilities and other characters. For the basic, we have a move here that really does fit the name basic. This is called Crush and Blow, has possibly one of the shortest tooltips in the game, so attack primary target for 340% damage, and that's it. Nothing else. They really need to add a lot more to this particular skill. Now with each level you take it up, he gains 40% damage and he does hit for a nice amount. However, with this being a single target attack and the fact that you don't bring Groot for damage, you bring him for support, I would actually leave this at level 5 and save your tier 3 materials once again. With the special, we have an ability here that, alongside with Groot's synergies with Rocket Raccoon, it's his only real saving grace. This is called Overgrowth. It's 3 turns to charge and you can use it at the start of a fight, and you will want to do that. And with this, Groot gains 2 death proof and you apply death proof to all lowest health allies. So all lowest health allies actually means all allies at level 7, so that can be really useful if you do run them in a summon team, because we know summons can only really take 1 hit. So with this, you're doubling the amount of damage they can take, and that does make it pretty nice there. So for that reason, this is the one skill that I would say that you want to max out. The final ability we look at here is another really underwhelming one, sadly. This is Life Sports. It's 4 turns to charge, comes fully charged. However, you will want to use the special at the start of a fight rather than this, unless of course you've run up against some really fast hard hitters and your health is low. Now with this, you heal all lowest health allies for 2000 health and 5% of this character's max health. Now Groot's max health is round about 72,000, so that means 5% is just over 3,500, meaning that maxed out with this skill you would heal your entire team for a rather low 5,500 health, which isn't a lot when you consider characters can have anywhere from the region of about 50,000 to 100,000 health. Now also with this, you have a 30% chance to clear negative effects from all allies. That's really nice, but the 30% chance you won't see it proccing too often. In regards to how high you want to take this one up to level 5, because at level 5 you get the 5% of the character's max health. Anything after that is just increasing the small 2000 health. I believe it goes from 900 to 1500 and then 2000, so it's simply not worthwhile using all those materials for an extra 1100 health. It's just a drop in the ocean really. Now with all the abilities covered, let's have a look at his synergies. We start off here then having a look at characters you would want to pair Groot up with. Now we don't have a massive amount here. You've got Rocket, and he actually has very nice synergies with Rocket, but they work more on Rocket's side rather than actually Groot's, so he's the one that does benefit from them. Now you also have summon characters, we mentioned that earlier on, and that's all down to the special and applying death proof to summons that can be really useful. So you've got Yondu, Kingpin, Nobu and also Loki that can work nice. Nobu especially because he gets his summons on the first turn and you can apply the death proof shortly afterwards due to Groot's slow speed. Now what we'll do is we'll have a look at the characters you want to avoid. When we look at characters you want to avoid, we really do have quite a few here. Firstly, you've got Quake. If she slows him down, you can be in a lot of trouble with that already slow attack speed. You then have Spider-Man and Mordo, who have a combination of slow and stun, which can give him a heap of trouble. Next up you have Doctor Strange, who can then flip all the death proofs on him. And then we have Vision and Ant-Man. They can both apply ability block, and that means he's stuck using that basic, which only does damage and nothing else there. So quite a few characters for different reasons that can give him a whole lot of trouble. Now what we'll do with that covered is we'll see where he places in the tier list. When we look at the tier list placement for Groot, then what we'll do before we actually place him is we'll have a look at his pros and cons. Now he doesn't really have that many pros at all. The synergies he has with Rocket Raccoon are very nice, but as mentioned, they do benefit Rocket more than they actually benefit Groot. And you've got his special, which can work really great with summon teams, and I imagine it would work really nice with protector missions as well. Adding that death proof can really help you out. Now when we look at the negatives, you've got a lot. Firstly, you've got that slow with the attack speed of only 70, and that just really hurts him a huge amount. You've then got the very basic, which is only doing single target damage. You have the ultimate skill with the really low heal. It's not going to add much to your team at all when you use that. And then finally you've got the passive with the revive, which has just got too much RNG in it. You'll very seldom be seeing this actually proc there. So overall, really disappointing character unfortunately, and one that I hope gets a Spidey stroke Vision overhaul sooner rather than later, because he really does need it. Now placement wise, I would place him in tier 2, so he's sitting alongside the likes of Bullseye, Punisher and Iron Fist. I would say he's probably mid to low tier 2, and on the subject of mid to low ratings in the tier list, I'm actually going to completely redo the tier list. Hopefully by the time the Wasp video comes out, and each of the 5 sections will be broken into low, mid and high tier, and I'll also try and add some information in regards to potential synergies that will pull characters up into different tiers as well. So let me know in the comments below if you've unlocked Groot, what you think of him, if you find him as underwhelming as I do, and as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.